The others, however, 9 in number and Abdullah, their leader, decided to abide by the Prophet PBUH's order and stay where they were until they were given leave or killed to the last. Consequently the cleft was left inadequately defended. The shrewd Khalid bin al-Walid seized this golden opportunity to turn swiftly round to the rear of the Muslim army and encompass them. Exterminating Ibn Jubair and his group, they fell promptly upon the rear of the Muslims, and his horsemen uttered a shout that signaled the new military developments. The polytheists returned once again to counterattack the Muslims. An idolist woman, called Umrah bint al-Qalma al-Haridiyah, rushed to the lying on earth standard, picked it up and hoisted it. The idolaters gathered together around the standard and called out unto one another till they encircled the Muslims and stood fast to fight again. The Muslims consequently got entrapped between two millstones. The Messenger of Allah, PBUH, was then among a small group of fighters, 9 in number at the rear of the army. Sahih Muslim 2107, watching the engagement and braving the Muslim fighters. Khalid and his men took him by utter surprise, and obliged him to follow either of two options: A. To flee for his life and abandon his army to its doomed end, or to take action at the risk of his life, rally the ranks of the Muslims again and work their way through the hills of Uhud towards the encompassed army. The genius of the Messenger of Allah, PBUH, his peerless and matchless courage, made him opt for the second course. He raised his voice calling out unto his companions, slaves of Allah. He did that though he knew that his loud voice would be heard by the idolaters before it was heard by the Muslims. He called out unto them, risking his life in this delicate situation. The idolaters, indeed, recognized him and reached his position even before the other Muslims could do so. The encompassment of the Muslims revealed 3 categories of people. The first group were those who were only interested in themselves, and they went so mad that they fled. They left the battlefield and did not know what happened to the others. Some of this group fled as far as Medina. Some others went up the mountain. The second Muslim group were those who returned to the battle, but mixed with the idolaters in such a way that they could not recognize one another. Consequently some of them were killed by mistake. On the authority of al-Bukhari, he states that Aisha said, when it was Uhud battle, the idolaters were utterly defeated. Satan then called out, O slaves of Allah! Beware the rear, i.e. the enemy is approaching from behind. So those who were at the front turned back, and fought the ones who were behind. Then Hudhayfa caught sight of his father, Al-Yaman, about to be killed by other Muslims. So he said, O servants of Allah! Beware! This is my father,